you that I call on my FaceTime when I need something real.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, then thank you for stopping by. So today's video is going to be 50 facts about me. So I've obviously been doing regular videos now for a while, and I just thought, you know, why not get to know me a little bit more? You know, you guys have to learn who you're watching, just get to know a few more little things about me. Just a regular girl from England who enjoys making videos. So the first fact about me is I'm 25 years old and I was born in July, so I will be 26 this year, which that is old. Like, I feel old. My mum and dad talk to me, I just think as if they are actually talking to their 26-year-old child. Like, I bet they're sat thinking, when did our daughter become 26? Like, nearly 26. Like, I thought when I was like 16, which was 10 years ago, that by the age of 26 I would be married with children and have horses and loads of dogs and live on a farm. But you know, life has not worked out that way quite yet, but I might get there. So I was born in Beverley, which is in East Yorkshire, and I moved to Huddersfield when I was about 7 or 8 years old. I have one older brother who lives in Manchester. He is nearly 29, so he's like 3 years older than I am. So I don't see him very often because we just have very separate lives. But yeah, he lives in Manchester. My first ever word was fish. I'm not really sure why, but apparently I had this plastic ball with a fish in it, and I used to shake it in the bath, and my first word was apparently fish. So I have my own house. I have a mortgage, which is like proper adult life. Like, you are not an adult until you have to pay bills. And obviously with it being a mortgage, like, you have to pay it. So, you know, this adult life that we all look up to and destined for, it's not as cracking as you think it is. You can't just go to Primark anymore and buy bags and bags of things. You have to make sure there's money in the bank for the mortgage, the TV licence, the council tax, the water bill, the electricity bill, the food bill. Like, there's just so many outgoings when it comes to being an adult. So I had a nose job when I was 21, and it's like the best thing I've ever done, I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely love it. People ask me about plastic surgery and I just say go for it. If there's something you want to change about yourself, then why not? If it's going to make you feel better and it's going to make you feel more comfortable, then you go ahead and you get that surgery done. As long as you're doing it for yourself, and that's all. I've now been driving for 8 years and I passed my driving test third time. So the first time I literally tried to pass my driving test after like 3 months, which was pretty stupid really. My dad told me it was a bad idea, but I just thought, you know what, I'm going to pass my driving test. And you know what, I didn't. Second time I obviously failed and I came home, threw myself on the bed, swore that I was never going to get in a car ever again and that I was never going to drive ever again because I hated it. And then obviously I passed third time. I'm scared of the dark, I'm scared of lorries, and I'm scared of spiders. So I hate when lorries drive past me. I just can't stand it. I don't know why. I feel like I've been killed by one in my past life. I just hate it so much. I literally like jump in people's gardens if there's a lorry like coming past me on the road. I hate the dark. I've never ever stayed in my house on my own in the dark. And I think I stayed at my mum and dad's once in the dark and it was the worst night's sleep of my entire life. So please tell me I'm not the only one. If you hate staying in the house on your own, even though you're in your 20s, mid-20s as well, please leave me a comment below and make me not feel as alone. I'm a female, I don't like spiders, I'm not gonna lie. Why are we even scared of spiders? They're just like little bugs with 8 legs, but I actually really hate them. And I'm sure I am not the only one that does. I've been lucky enough to travel a lot of places in my lifetime. I've been on loads and loads of holidays. I've been to America like countless times. New York, Vegas, LA, Colorado, San Francisco, Egypt, France, Turkey, Spain, Portugal, Germany. I've been on cruise ships, I've been to Greece, I have been a lot of places, and I feel very privileged to have visited all these places, and I think it really has opened my eyes up to the cultures of the world, and I don't think I'd be the person I am today if I hadn't have gone on all these little adventures. But obviously now it's time that I pay for all these things myself. I obviously appreciate it even more because I know how hard you have to work to get yourself to these nice places. I just want to see even more of the world. There's so many more places that I want to visit. Like, literally, I could probably travel constantly. But 3 A levels, I've got an A. No, I don't. I've got a B in photography, a C in media, and an E in textiles. Yeah, that was a bit of a fail. I also went to university to study fashion, and I dropped out after 6 months because, again, I absolutely hated it. It just was not for me at all. And then I did a season in Marbella. So the summer that I dropped out of uni, I went to Marbella to do a season, and I lasted about 6 weeks just because my job was shit. Like, I literally had to sell shots to people, and I had to try and get people on the street to go into the club, but it was like the worst club in Marbella, and everyone wanted to go to Pangaea. Going Pangaea, babe. Pangaea and Tibu, and they did not care about the bar that I worked for, so I literally hated the job, and I flew home on my birthday. I broke my leg when I was 8 years old. I got chased by a horse, and I also broke my nose, hence why I had the nose job. And I actually ended up in hospital for like 3 to 4 weeks, and I ended up getting schooled in hospital. So I literally had to get into my wheelchair, get wheeled into like this little mini school on the ward, and I used to get taught in hospital, so that was an experience. I have 3 tattoos. I have one on my foot which is like a little dragonfly, and everyone thinks it's a butterfly, and it really annoys me because it is a dragonfly. I've got a writing on my thigh which says wisdom in Arabic, and I have a little bow on my hip, which was my first tattoo I ever got, and 2 of my friends have that tattoo as well in the same place, and luckily I speak to both of them, but the other 2 don't speak to each other, so it's a little bit awkward that we've all got the same tattoo. But my favourite food is sushi, and my favourite dessert kind of food is donuts and cookie dough. I literally could probably live off sushi and donuts. I think I would need any other kind of food. I could definitely survive off that. Once lost my eyesight for 2 weeks. I was playing in my grandma and granddad's garden with my cousin, and he hit me in the eye with a plastic golf club. I just remember the feeling like it was yesterday. I literally thought that my eyeball had come out and hit the floor, and I remember I had my hand over my eye like this, and I wouldn't let go. And my granddad was like, "Sophie, I need to look at your eye, let me have a look." And I was screaming and shouting, and I just didn't dare take my hand away because I still thought my eye was on the floor somewhere down the garden. Fortunately it wasn't, and I obviously had to put like a cold flannel on it, and I went home that night and started to lose my eyesight. I couldn't see. My mum and dad were watching me, and they were like, "You can't see, can you, Sophie?" I was like, yeah, I can see, yeah. And they were like, "You can't, can you?" I was like, "Yeah, I can." Having to go to hospital. By the time I got there, I'd completely lost my eyesight, but luckily eye drops for 2 weeks made my eyesight come back, and I don't actually have a problem with my eyes now. They're absolutely fine. Which takes me on to my next fact about me, and I used to never dare tell my mum and dad that I felt sick. It was really weird because there was no need for me to feel like that, but if I felt sick, I just did not dare tell my mum and dad. Like, I used to hide it. So I once won Miss Bradford Miss Photogenic in 2012. One of my favourite things to do is go to the cinema. I absolutely love it. Like, I could literally go every night. I just love films. I'm allergic to nickel, which you find is like a metal, and you can find it in like cheap jewellery and cheap watches. So if I ever wear that, I get a really bad rash and my skin goes really swollen. I have a big silver crown up here, and I have 2 more fillings. I never had a brace, so my teeth are quite straight, but for whatever reason they're rotting away. I learnt to ski in America when I was about 7, yes, because it was the year before I broke my leg. I have filler in my lips, I have naturally very, very small, thin lips, and I've been having filler now for about 2 years, and this is literally the biggest that my lips will go. The lady who does my lips said that she literally cannot get any more filler into mine because they are naturally so small that the filler will actually start going like up here and like sitting down here. When I was younger, I wanted to be a vet or an astronaut. Fortunately, I didn't get the grades to stretch myself that far. But my first ever job was a paper round, and I've actually had a job since I was 13. Like, I've never ever not had a job since I was 13 years old. I have really bad bunions. I don't really know why. My grandma's got them. My mum said that I used to grip my toes into my shoes, wear trainers that were like too big for me, and she thinks that's why I've got them, but they are really, really bad, honestly. I think I'm gonna have to get them checked out soon because like they're horrendous, but obviously it's a really, really big operation and it kind of puts me off. I would definitely have more surgery. I do believe in plastic surgery. So if you're watching this and you're really against it, then I don't know, maybe just try being a bit more open-minded. If someone wants to change something about themselves and it makes them feel better, then why not? I used to be absolutely obsessed with Katie Price, and I mean obsessed. Like, she was my idol. I had all the books, I watched all the TV programmes, I bought like every single magazine with her in it, her horse riding range. Like, I was literally obsessed with it. I used to work at Jack Will's in Leeds, and I once had to wear a bikini in store, a cardigan over the top, and this man once told me that I was a slag when he was in there with his daughter, and it was really awful, but the shop made me wear it. I think because I was young, I didn't really think about like what I was actually doing. So if you ever walked into Jack Will's in Leeds and saw a girl in a bikini, then that was me. I give money to charity every month, so I give money to the RSPCA, and I also give money like here and there to other little charities as well. I used to be a sprinter, so I used to sprint for my local running team, which was Home Firth Harriers, and I also did a little bit for like West Yorkshire, and I did quite a few competitions. And at school I was like the sprinter of my year as well. Well, there was obviously a few of us, but I was one of them. I was once sick on an airplane on the way to Ibiza with my friends, so I had a really bad sickness bug and I hadn't eaten all day. Got on the plane, had some Ribena and a Kit Kat. I literally just thought, oh my god, I'm gonna be sick. But my friends sat me next to these two lads because they didn't obviously want my sickness bug, and I was sick all over this lad. Just really didn't care because he wouldn't stop talking to me anyway, and he proper kicked off. He was like, oh my god, you've just been sick on me. And I was like, well, sorry hun. And then my friend had some shorts in a bag, so I literally just started getting changed on the plane because either trolley was like either end, so I couldn't go to the toilet. I was an extra on TV, so when I was at college I made money being an extra on TV. So I worked on Emmerdale, Waterloo Road, and a programme called The Royal, which was like a really old-fashioned like hospital programme set in Scarborough. My favourite film is the first Transformers. I literally love that film. I could watch it over and over and over again, and obviously it's got Megan Fox in it and Sheila Booth. I used to collect Beanie Babies, so I'm reckoning that a lot of you who are going to watch this video also used to collect Beanie Babies. So if you did, then please drop me a comment below. I actually had hundreds. My dad worked in America for quite a few months, and he got a lot of Beanie Babies out there for me, and they all used to sit on the end of my bed. I hardly even fitted in there, like literally all used to tip onto the floor. I always had to take one somewhere with me. I had this little otter and it had like a bit of seaweed attached to it, and I was literally obsessed. It was like my favourite Beanie Baby ever. I absolutely despise celery and licorice. They are the worst foods ever invented. Had a fling when I was 18 with a guy off Shameless. I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but if you want to guess, then you can. Yeah, be my guest. Guess away. She read every Jacqueline Wilson book that was ever written. I was obsessed with Jacqueline Wilson, and my favourite book was probably Lola or Cliffhanger. There wasn't one book that I didn't have. Like, I literally had every Jacqueline Wilson book ever written. My dream car is a black Jeep, a matte black Jeep with matte black wheels. I believe in the law of attraction, so what you give out is what you receive. Lately I've been quite negative, and I've been receiving quite negative things in my life, so I just know that being positive is the way forward. I got bullied really badly when I was at college, so I had my house egged, my mum's car egged, I had my car keyed, I had stuff thrown at me, I got pushed into, I got shouted at. Like, college for me was hell. I absolutely hated it, hence why I got quite good grades in my GCSEs, because I just used to spend time in the library and in the computer room just studying. So yeah, but I thank them now because they've definitely made me who I am today, made me a stronger person. I once ran a half marathon with my dad, and I completed it in 2 hours and 14 minutes, which was quite good going. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I literally had to like really mentally push myself through it. Weird fact, but I used to be sick all the time, so even though I didn't dare tell mum and dad that I was ill, like, I literally used to be sick in my sleep, and obviously they knew that about me anyway, but I didn't actually tell them because I was asleep, so they'd just find me in the morning just laid in my own sick, and we never really got down to the bottom of it. I had scans, I had tests, and they never really knew why, and I just eventually grew out of it. But even now, if I eat like really oily or heavy foods, I will be sick. So that is a really weird fact about me. My mum and dad probably hate me because I put them through hospital twice, and they had to clean up my sick all the time as a child. So sorry mum and dad if I was a bit of a problem child, but I'm a bit of an angel now. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you are new here, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you all learned something new about me. Just a few little facts about me, nothing more than just, you know, fitness and whatever else you watch me for. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next video.